Welcome to the Sailor Jimmy Podcast, your one-stop shop for raw takes on current events, sports, news, and everything in between. Inspiring people to chase their dreams, share their success stories, and find joy in life. Now, here's your captain at the helm, U.S. Navy veteran, Jimmy Rogers.
What's up, brother?
Eddie, what's going on?
Let me take the glasses off.
I like the hat.
Oh, thanks, brother.
Hey, man, thanks for taking some time today to join us on the Sailor Jimmy podcast. I really appreciate it.
Oh, shoot, no, thank you, brother. Appreciate it. You taking time out for me?
No, that's what we were just saying. You probably cleared your whole schedule just for me. I know I'm that important, right?
Hey, brother, always.
All right, we wanted to start off by asking a couple, get your brain working a little bit. So we ask let people in our audience get to know you a little better. So we ask these this or that questions. They're one word responses or short responses. Happy songs or sad songs?
All depends on what mood I'm in. If I'm in the drinking mood, I could like them sad songs because ain't nothing like them, boy. But if you're in a partying mood, well, like I said, it all depends on what I'm drinking and how much I had to drink.
Right on. Dine in or dine out?
Well, I'll tell you what. I love, of course, word and word, and a sentence is hard for me anyway because I love to run my mouth. But I love getting home. We dine out, but I love getting home. And my smoking hot wife, Jen, she cooks a hell of a country style meal, man. So when she's cooking, I'm eating.
So you can do either. Coffee or tea?
I'm a tea guy.
Whiskey or tequila?
Whiskey guy.
Early bird or night owl?
24/7.
Okay, and then this is the most fun one. If you could cure one world problem with the snap of your fingers, what would you cure?
You know what? I'll tell you what, that's the greatest thing about music to me, because I tell you what, if everybody would sit down and just write a song and stuff, because music cures all. And I tell you what, that's one thing that I found out when I was growing up about music. When people come up, there's nothing like it. I don't care, awards, whatever, or accolades, whatever the hell they want to call them. But I tell you, that's awesome. But the main thing is, when somebody comes up to you and says, man, you have changed my life because of that song. You saved my life. You know what? You helped my marriage. You got me through this. And there's no award like it.
Right.
And I know, man, that's what, everybody I reckon kind of goes out for. And it's great when your peers, give you the awards and stuff. That's awesome. But I tell you what, man, when it comes down, when the rubber meets the road, hey, it's about, me and T-Roy never called nobody
Right.
fans. We called them friends. We've been blessed enough, man. We got friends all over the world. And when they come up to you, man, and they go like, hey, you changed my life. You don't know what, man, I've been through. And that's the best award you could ever have right there, man. There's nothing no better than that.
Absolutely. We've all been touched by a song, and I know I have. I mean, when we're down or depressed or something, what better than music to get your head right? So I want to make a personal connection with you real quick. Back in 2011, 2012, I don't know if you can remember back that far, I was personally serving in the United States Navy, and I was stationed at Naval Station Norfolk. And I had just gotten out of basic training boot camp and went through my training in Pensacola, Florida, got shipped to Norfolk, and I got there to the base, and they were like, there's this concert going on this weekend on the base, and it was Montgomery Gentry. So I wanted to ask you, do you remember playing that concert on Norfolk Naval Station back in 2012? Well, all I can remember is, you twisting the microphone and the high energy show, you and Gentry, and it was just a concert that I'll never forget. And I just wanted to ask if you remember playing that show.
Man, I tell you what, there's nothing like playing for all of our great American heroes. That's one thing about it. We can say, be, and dream as big as we want to in this great country.
Right.
This is the greatest country in the world.
Right.
And we do not give it up enough for all of our great American heroes, baby. And I tell you what, I got a really big mouth, and that's one thing, man, that I grew up on. All of my family, was, in some sort of a branch of the military. And, we ended up being musicians. So, you know, uh, so I tell you what, we grew up, and my dad and mom, I always make fun about it. My mom was a drummer, dad was a guitar player, and the bartenders were our babysitters. But we grew up because honky tonk musicians don't make much money, so dad and mom would take us with them to, VFWs, American Legion halls, all this stuff, man. And back then we were little bitty kids, and there wasn't really a 21 law back then. And by the time we were 8, we were setting up their equipment. We were roadies, so
Oh, wow.
probably seen a lot of things we probably shouldn't have seen. But I tell you what, hearing all the stories, man, growing up, because at the time, 8, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, you really don't know what's going on. But when Dad and them was playing them, I remember back then it was, a lot of World War II veterans, and then the Vietnam veterans started coming
Right.
in. And one of my dad's best friends, was a Vietnam vet, so he was 101 Airborne.
Right.
So, but I tell you, all of our American heroes, man, and what they do. I'm named after a 5th Marine, Edward Montgomery. He was the 5th Marine, got killed at Iwo Jima. He's my great uncle.
Okay.
And so our whole family has been, touched and around the military all our whole life, and music. And to me, both of them go together.
Right.
Because, all y'all, man, you give us the freedom, man, where I can run my damn mouth every day, and I get to play music, and I get to be who the hell I want to be.
Well, I know you're a patriot, and you just explained that even further, but that's one of the reasons I think you're going to be a great addition to our event that we'll talk here about. We'll talk in a few minutes about. I want to ask you real quick about Toby Keith. I know how you probably are aware that in the military community, how much we loved Toby and what he meant to us. And I know he passed earlier this year, and I know you guys used to tour together. What can you tell us about your relationship?
We were good friends, very, very good friends.
Yeah, what can you tell us about your relationship with him and what he meant to you?
Man, I tell you what, Toby was pretty much bigger than life, man. He was probably 6'5", I guess, man, and we hung a lot together. And I tell you what, I'll never forget, man. I got a story. Probably shouldn't tell this one, but I remember we'd been out clubbing one night after it was us and Toby and Brooks and Dunn, all of us. Well, let's just say we was at a nightclub, and I'd had that one shot too many, I guess. And it was time for me to get on the bus. So we had all our buses at the club. Well, I went up, and I was on Toby's bus and didn't know it. If you get my meaning, I was sitting up there, and I got up. I reckon there were some people on there, and I told everybody, I was like, I need everybody to get the hell off my bus. And I remember Toby walking up to me, and he said, Edro, this is my bus. He said, your bus is behind me.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Oh, man.
And so, we had a lot of fun, man, and I loved him to death. And I tell you what, of course, he hung out with Troy Gentry's dad at the Grapevine in Lexington, Kentucky.
Right.
Troy's dad on the bar,
Right.
So, that's how we go back and stuff, man. And he was a great guy, man. I got stories, all of them, a bunch I can't tell, a bunch I can.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, I love the hell out of him, and what a hell of a songwriter. And I mean, that's what I loved. And I tell you what, here's one thing that I love, that out of everybody in Nashville, you knew damn well where Toby Keith stood. I mean, that was it. And he would tell you, man, and that's one thing that I loved about him, because you always knew where that man stood.
Well, we love Toby, and we're going to do a tribute to him at our event. You're going to be coming down to here in Veterans Day weekend in Magnolia, Texas. What is the coolest memorable show you've ever played, or the coolest venue or show you've ever played in your career?
And you can do that if I remember right, because the guy brought me. I tell you what, when we went overseas to Iraq and stuff and through Kuwait, it was pretty cool because I get to see most of all of our great American heroes, I see them either come on the bus or I see them at a show where they're, just dressed down.
Right.
They're not, fully, and, they're not at work.
Right.
I'll put it that way. And when you go over there, when we went over there, man, I started seeing some that had been on my bus and hanging with me at the shows and stuff, and they was coming up to us. And, they were at work there. And I tell you what, man, it's a different scene, boys. When they're at work, they're at work.
No doubt about it.
But we went over there, and we were flying on a C-130 at the time. We flew over on a C-17, and we got on a C-130, and we were flying. I'll never forget because the general told us we could go up. Of course, we had the general with us, and told us we'd go up there in the cockpit. So we went up there, and when I was growing up, I remember I thought all of our military was kind of like older dudes. And I go up, man, and I'll never forget these two young boys and stuff sitting up here. Of course, my dumb ass, I asked, I was like, well, man, why are y'all flying this, man, the C-130? And I'll never forget one of them looked at me just as serious as hell and said, because I wasn't good enough to fly one of them damn fighter jets.
That's probably true.
And I about fell out. I about laughed my ass off. But anyway, going back to the story, that's the whole trip was memorable. But we were supposed to go to one base over there, and they had what they call a brownout. And we were sitting up there, I'll never forget that. The brownout is like a hurricane, only it's sand. And it's coming to us, so they had to switch bases. Well, they switched bases on us, and how they say it on these baits and shit, you can fact check me.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that when we went to another base to play, and after we left that base, because we were supposed to have been there the next night, it's like 24 hours to the second they blew the damn stage up in the base.
Oh man!
And so
Wow.
And one of our American heroes actually bring me and I don't know if he's supposed to do this or not, but he gave me a piece of shrapnel they took out of his leg.
Wow.
And man, it's stuff like that I'll never forget that.
That's
and them coming to the show and stuff, and I just remember going over and playing, and I'll never forget when we got on the Blackhawks, because we was going out there because I remember the general and a couple of colonels and stuff, we was going to the bases, and they said, well, nobody will go to the FOBs and frontal observation bases. So, and they said, nobody will go to the FOBs. And me and T-Roy said, the hell they won't. We will. If you'll get us out there, we'll go. And so we went out there, and I'll never forget flying into one on the Blackhawks. And we landed, and we started playing. And this was acoustic because we couldn't take the whole band out there. So we just took our acoustics and our guitar players. And I remember I remember playing, and not once, everybody was around us looking, and not once we heard this explosion. It sounded like it was right next door. And once we seen everybody's head turn that way, exactly where it was at. Mm-hmm. And it was just totally opposite. And the next thing we know, people were getting up and they were going after them, boys. But we seen one base that absolutely one of the FOBs out there that was like MASH. And I couldn't believe it, man, because it was really, you seen this stuff, man, and you go, oh, wow. Right. I mean, this is real, man. This is real. And just meeting all them, and you can tell, man, I get excited when I talk about our heroes, man. I love them. And like I said, this is the greatest damn country in the world, man. And I tell you what, I love it. And it tears me up sometimes, man, when you see our country fighting with each other when we need to be nothing but fighting with everybody else. And that's it.
I agree.
We need because I still think right now to this day, no matter what happens, an American's going to have an American back.
Absolutely. And I can tell you, somebody that's been deployed, been over there and had people come over and play for us, it means the world to our troops. And thank you for doing that, because I know how much it means to them having been there. And those kind of stories, man, it's incredible. That the whole stage blown up, and that's got to be God interacting in that moment, I think.
Oh yeah, the man upstairs had our back all the way, man. And I tell you what, it was a totally awesome experience. But I got to say this too, for all the Marines out there, They had the best stage over there,
Oh
man.
yeah,
Because I tell
I
you what,
bet. They, they,
and I'll never forget that. I tell you what, man,
well,
it was badass. When we hit that Marine base, look out,
oh yeah,
boys!
them boys don't play.
It was
Those
on.
boys don't play. I'm a sailor, so I always get picked on by Marines, but we love our Marines, man. Love our Marines. My grandfather was a Marine, so man, nobody's stronger than a Marine.
There you go.
That's awesome. No, thanks for sharing that
Of course, I
story.
got a pararescue guy. I got a pararescue guy out here right now that travels
Oh,
with me,
nice,
and he's a hell of an entertainer. He
nice,
gets up and sings and stuff with me, and I love them to death because they're the heroes that goes in and gets the heroes, baby,
for
when they're
sure,
down.
for sure. So, what's your favorite song to play on stage?
Uh, well, if all musicians will tell the truth, it's the one that pays.
You got a few of those.
Nah,
He
it's
got a few of those.
I love, like I said, and it goes back to singing and feeling the whole heart thing, and me and T Roy, this duo nobody put together. Me and T Roy put it
Right,
together. Nashville did
right,
not. And so, it's like when somebody asks about one of your favorite songs, it's almost going like, well, which one of your kids is your favorite? Because me and T Roy picked these songs. Nobody else
right,
did. We picked them. We went, no, this is us. This is us. I'll never forget when we first went to Nashville, man, it was hell on us because we were going around and people were playing these songs and we're going like, no, it was tongue in cheek and cheesy stuff, and blah, 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 blah. And we were like, oh no, that ain't us. So we finally done a show and had all the songwriters and stuff and the publishers, which the publishers are the ones that pitches the songs. Songwriters gives them to them and they pitch them for them. And we couldn't find those songs. And finally, it was our last. It's funny how I reckon the man upstairs has got our back and how it just works. But we was at our last publishing company on the last, like at the end of the day, and this guy done played us, I don't know, we done listened to 100 songs, 150 songs, I guess. And was like, no, 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 that ain't it. And I once he said, well, I got one song for y'all leave. He said, I got one song, but said it's too damn tough and said, nobody's ever going to cut this song. He pulled it out. It was Tattoos and Scars. We said, that's who we are,
right,
right there. If you could find that, the next one we found was Hillbilly Shoes at 3:30 in the morning.
right.
And I ain't gonna tell you why it was 3:30 in the morning, but we found it. Somebody played it for us, and we went, "That's us. We got to have that song."
The rest is history.
And the rest is history. And that's why I reckon we love, all of our songs, man. It's even hell, I like some of the album cuts better than I like the damn
Right.
hits. So
My
it's
favorite song, by Montgomery Gentry, and that hits home for me the most is the song "Something to Be Proud of."
oh yeah. I tell you what, that's and of course I do it in every show, man.
Yeah,
And it's I want to call it sometimes my town too, because something to be proud of. It just tells the story about the whole thing,
right.
and it's about America. It's about
Doing your
all of
best.
our great heroes and all that stuff.
Yep, it's about doing your best and about America, and just like it just hits you in the heart, man. I turned that song up real loud in my truck.
Well, I appreciate you for doing that, brother,
Absolutely, and we're looking forward to hearing it
because
live.
that's definitely one of my favorites. I can promise you that.
We're looking forward to hearing it live. All right, so let's,
But we usually that's mainly what me and T. Roy always sing. Of course, we sing. I always sing about the good, the bad, the ugly, and the party on the
right.
weekend. But we sing about God, family, man, and and America, and that's what we always think about.
Nothing better than that. Party on the weekend, man. We're gonna have some fun. All right, let me. So I want to tell you a little bit about what you're coming down here. No Veterans Day weekend. We got you headlining the 9th annual Boots for Troops concert in the country. It's going down in Magnolia, Texas, which is just north of Houston. Have you ever been to Magnolia, Texas?
Not that I know of. I know it's outside of Houston,
Right.
right?
Yeah, it's just north of
But
Houston.
yeah, everything y'all do though, man, is totally. It's just unreal what y'all do. Even the service dogs. All of it.
I appreciate that.
And and that's one thing that's always really pissed me off is we train all of our men and women, all of our great American heroes, to go in there to do battle.
Right.
But the only thing is, when they come home, we don't detrain them. We don't try to help them. It's like, okay, you're out, bye.
Right.
And to me, I think anybody that's in our military, I think automatically that's an American hero, I'm telling you, automatically their kids ought to have free college. They ought to have free everything for the rest of their life. Because I know damn well all of our damn and people up in the White House and stuff, all their people get free
Absolutely.
stuff. And I don't know why we don't take care of our our heroes.
And healthcare. I mean,
that's ought to be it. They ought to be set up when they come back on and have them, just like we train them to go in, train them to come out, and have them set up and said, you know what, your kids, man, they got college, this, that. I mean, all of it. Whatever you need is yours.
And I think healthcare is an important thing with veterans. It's like no matter where you are, if you break an arm or you're upset or whatever, you should be able to go to the nearest hospital, nearest doctor, and get immediate attention, and the government should just pay for the bill if you're a veteran.
That's it.
Without any red tape, without any.
There should be no questions asked. Period.
Exactly.
Because I guarantee you, if one of them people up there in Washington, D.C., if they broke an arm, I guarantee you, every damn doctor would take them real quick.
Yep, and I agree with you. I think it should be no questions asked. Honorably discharged veterans should get immediate attention wherever they want to go and what time of the night. You know, because if you get hurt and you need to go somewhere in the middle of the night and you don't have insurance, you got to go down to like the VA hospital, which could be hours away. And there's a hospital right down the street you can go to, but it's not a VA hospital. They should be able to go to any hospital
right.
and get attention or get whatever they need done and it taken care of. So I agree with you on that. But to follow up on this event, so this event is our 9th annual. It's taking place on a beautiful 35-acre horse farm in Magnolia, actually owned by my in-laws. It's just a very important event to our community. Over the years, we've built it up from something kind of small to something really big. We've had some great artists come through: Tracy Lawrence, Aaron Watson, Pat Green, Joe Nichols last year. So it's a super exciting time for our community, our group. What can the fans of our event and your fans and everybody that's coming out to concert in the country, Veterans Day weekend, what can they expect from you and the band?
Well, you know, when we hit the stage, anything can happen, and it usually does. And that's the way we like it, man. Like I said, it's the greatest country in the world. We get to have parties, great parties like this.
Right.
And I love it. And we get to help our American heroes. What kind of party's better than that?
None.
And nobody can say crap to us.
Right.
That's right.
And this is a pasture party. This is a pasture party. It's a horse pasture all year long. About 2 weeks before this event, they bring in all the fencing and the stages and the everything, and they turn it into a huge concert venue. It's a really cool thing to see. I think you're going to love it. And 100% of the money that's from ticket sales, auctions, everything goes back to the charity. There's no for-profit investor, and it all goes back to the charity, which we send custom care packages as one of our programs that we have. And no better time of the year than now with the holidays coming up than to be able to send these packages out. So we're excited to have you, Eddie. We're looking forward to it. We hope you're excited. I love to do these podcasts because I get a chance to have a conversation with the headliner and kind of give you guys a heads up on what you're coming to. And I just want to let you know you're coming to a patriotic event that's going to be super exciting for everybody there, and I hope you're pumped up to be coming.
Oh, hell, I'm telling you, man, I've been pumped ever since I heard about this.
Awesome.
Well, ever since I heard about doing the podcast too, man, I was like, hell yeah, because like I said.
Well, you're coming to a part of Texas that loves their military, and you can be as loudmouthed as you want on that stage because people in that crowd are patriots, and I'm pretty sure most of them will agree with you. But man, thank you for taking the time out of your schedule today and hanging out with us for a little bit. Like I said, we're looking forward to have you and Tyler Farr and Corey Morrow. We got Pam Tillis the night before, so we're getting excited. Just thank you for taking the time today.
Thanks for listening to the Sailor Jimmy podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information or to connect with Jimmy, check us out on the web at sailorjimmy.com, on Facebook at facebook.com/SailorJimmyTX, on Instagram at SailorJimmyTX, and on TikTok at SailorJimmy. We'll see you next time.